Hey YouTube, it's Healthinator here, and today we're going to talk about picking out a doctor. Now, as you know, I'm into health and fitness, but there comes time to time where you need to see a doctor. And my advice to you is you really have to do your research. There's two types of doctors. There's like a conventional doctor, and then there's like a homeopathic doctor, and they have completely different views. So I like to explain this in one simple way. So here's an analogy. Conventional doctors versus homeopathic doctors. So let's just say you have a 401k and you have a retirement plan, right? Okay, and let's say I have an investor that wants to, I can refer to you. And I say, you know what, this investor, he studies people who are poor and bankrupt and not really good with money. He doesn't really study people who are doing really well and thriving with money. How about he invests your 401k? You'd be like, are you crazy? Same thing happens with a doctor when picking out a doctor. So let me explain it this way. So a conventional doctor, again, I don't want to lump all doctors together, but a conventional doctor to keep you well, he studies sickness, disease, medications, and operations. He knows that field, but he does not know superfoods, fasting, nutrition, diets, lowering the chemical load, doesn't study people who are super healthy. So what I say is, if you're not going to go to the guy who just studies the poor for investing, why are you going to go to a guy who just studies the sick? Yeah, he can help you out when you're sick, but the whole idea about health is prevention, prevention, prevention. Also, too, who funds the medical schools? Big Pharma. Big Pharma sends tons of money to medical schools. They also, you think big oil lobbies Congress? Pharma lobbies Congress 10 times as much as big oil. So they have influence over doctors, they have influence over our Congress. So you really got to be careful there when you're picking on a doctor. Also too, pharmaceutical companies, out of any companies that are in business, not traditionally, they are actually, have some of the highest criminal fines by the US government. So we're supposed to trust these companies that have the highest fines. So it's ridiculous. So, you know, conventional doctors just don't have the knowledge. So you really want to seek out a holistic doctor. I'm not saying never a need for a pharmaceutical drug or never a need for a procedure, but out of the whole world, Americans have the most surgeries and are on the most pharmaceutical drugs. So that's all you know is drug this and operation that. And I'm not saying there's sometimes a time, but way overused. Big Pharma basically has no use for me because of my clean lifestyle, my eating, my fasting, all the things I basically do, limiting the chemical load through my body. I have no use for pharmaceutical. That's not good for business. They want people not super healthy, and they don't want them so sick that they're dying. They want them in the middle. They want them in a sickly state. That's where the sweet spot is. That's the honey spot, where you can just milk them for decades and decades of all these drugs and operations, that are needed because of lifestyle change. I look at it as another form of taxation. So where at least the holistic doctor, yes, he knows when things are wrong, but he also studies people who are healthy, and he knows about the things I've talked about. He knows about diet. He knows about superfoods. He knows about supplements. He knows about all these lifestyle changes. You ask a conventional doctor about superfoods, there's no such thing. And then their typical line for supplements, and of course you have to be careful. You have to get high-grade supplements. They always say, oh, you just pee them out. You know why? Because they have no knowledge. And when they go to school, do you think pharmaceutical companies want them learning about natural cures? No, they don't. They want them one way. Somebody's got a problem, pharmaceutical. Everything else is phooey and hogwash, doesn't work. Of course, it's their competition. Plus, also, too, here's another little known fact. Pharma wants nothing to do with holistic herbs and anything that's on the planet that can heal you, has medicinal powers. Why? Because any naturally occurring element cannot be patented. You can't patent it. I can't make any money. I want nothing to do with it. So they take things that occur naturally in the wild and in nature, and then they synthesize it in the lab, and all of a sudden they can patent it now. It's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins. Follow the money. And again, I'm not one of these people. I'm a realist. I'm not saying never, but just way overused in America. So when you go out searching for a doctor, do your homework, do your diligence, and really look for a doctor who knows when something's wrong, but also what can make you thrive. You want balance. You don't want just one side. Just like you wouldn't pick the investor who would just study poor. It doesn't make any sense. There's one more thing I forgot to add. about picking out a doctor in the whole industry itself. I forgot to mention, don't listen to me. Listen to the nurses, the professors, and the doctors. And there's this must-see documentary that you have to check out. I'll put a link below the video that you can watch it. It has a pretty ominous name. It's called Death by Medicine. So, like I said, don't listen to me. Watch the video, watch the documentary, and come to your own conclusion. I just wanted to share it with you too. So, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And when you go out looking for a doctor, make sure he's holistic. Do it.